Welcome to the Deep Dive, your shortcut to being truly well-informed on the biggest stories. Today, we're cutting through the noise around the NBA offseason. It's absolutely buzzing, isn't it? Questions, predictions, some really high-stakes gambles already shaping the 2025-26 season. Our mission is to give you the inside track on the major storylines, from potential team turnarounds to the future of some superstar players.
It truly is a fascinating time in the league.
Yeah.
Very dynamic. What's clear is just how quickly fortunes can shift. Every single move, every decision, even like a small contract detail, it creates ripples. It impacts not just one team, but the whole competitive landscape. We're seeing a lot of teams grappling with this balance, push for now or build for later. It's never simple.
Absolutely. And to help us navigate all this, we've gathered a bunch of sources, major sports forecasts, ESPN's summer forecast, for example, detailed team analyses. We're trying to pull out the crucial insights for you. The goal is really to arm you with the knowledge to understand what's driving these narratives. So let's jump right in. We're starting broad, looking at what NBA insiders are predicting for 2025-26 in that summer forecast. And it really seems like a tale of two paths. Some teams poised for a big turnaround, others maybe facing some turmoil. On the team turnaround side, two teams are tied at the top. Both got 55 points. The San Antonio Spurs, maybe not a huge shock with their young guys, and the Atlanta Hawks. Philadelphia 76ers are right behind them at 49 points.
Yeah, and what's insightful here is getting at the why, right? It's more nuanced than just, they added good players. For the Hawks, the optimism comes from what insiders are calling a potentially transformative offseason. They brought in big pieces, Porzingis, Luke Kennard, Nickel Alexander-Walker for defense. But it's not just talent addition. It's about re-scarping their spacing in defense. Porzingis, for instance, he isn't just a scorer. His mix of rim protection and shooting, it just changes their whole offensive structure, gives Trae Young way more freedom. And Kennard, elite off-ball gravity, consistent shooting they've desperately needed, pulls defenders away. These aren't just additions. They feel like strategic puzzle pieces. Could redefine the Hawks.
That makes it much clearer, how they fit into the bigger picture. So for the 76ers, is their path as clear-cut?
Not quite as straightforward, I'd say. Their chances really hinge largely on the health of Joel Embiid and Paul George. We know how their ceiling drops when those guys are out. And beyond health, it's also about the continued growth from Tyrese Maxey. He's clearly taking on more leadership. Can he consistently be an all-star? Adapt. That's going to be crucial if they want to truly contend.
Makes sense. A lot of ifs there. But like you said, it's not all positive predictions. Contrasting this, we have the team turmoil category, and topping that list with 41 points.
Yes.
The Milwaukee Bucks.
Right. And what's really fascinating here, maybe a bit stark, is this mounting uncertainty at the perceived end of its contention window. And this is despite Giannis still being, arguably the best player in the world. The Bucks made that, unprecedented move to get Miles Turner. And to do it, they waived Damian Lillard, stretched over $110 million left on his deal over 5 years. Now, this isn't just a roster tweak. This is a massive cap hit, over $20 million a year in dead money for 5 years. That severely limits what they can do in free agency or trades going forward. Rival teams apparently saw it as an act of desperation, like a reckless gamble to cling to Giannis's prime by mortgaging their future flexibility. High risk, high reward for sure. Lots of questions about the long-term vision there.
Okay, wow. So if they've mortgaged so much for right now, what does this all mean for Giannis and, for the rest of the league? Let's dive deeper into the Bucks situation, because this feels like it has pretty big implications. It sounds like they're really putting everything on Giannis's shoulders in a way we haven't quite seen before. That's immense pressure.
It absolutely is. And it's a new kind of challenge for him. For the first time, really, Giannis doesn't have a clear second star alongside him. Not like Parker early on or Middleton for all those years or even Lillard, brief as it was. The team has to lean heavily on Antetokounmpo, just incredibly heavily. Miles Turner, he's valuable, no doubt, modernizes their play, rim protection, shooting. But he isn't that secondary star who can just create his own shot or carry the offense for stretches when Giannis rests. Their success really hinges on Giannis delivering maybe his most Herculean effort yet, night after night, without that same level of co-star support.
In this whole situation, it's just fueled all that trade speculation around Giannis, hasn't it, for years now?
Yeah.
He's ranked second on that ESPN list of superstars most likely to request a trade. Only Zion is higher.
It's a persistent storyline, yeah. And while it's probably unlikely to happen mid-season, if he's still there by summer, Giannis himself, he's consistently fueled it by never officially ending it. He never gives that definitive "I'm staying" statement. He's had so many chances to just shut the rumors down, but he hasn't.
And that silence just gets amplified, right? Especially by national media, big market narratives always pushing for stars to move. But is this really Giannis pushing for more? Or is there maybe another way to look at it?
That's the critical question, I think.
Yeah.
Is his strategy of putting pressure on the front office, is it actually disrespectful to GM John Horst? I mean, Horst has consistently done everything in his power to build a winner around Giannis.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, Lillard, now Turner. Those were bold moves. Implying he needs more motivation kind of overlooks those big swings, some of which were pretty risky. There's also an interesting insight suggesting Giannis's ego means he wouldn't want a 1A, 1B situation, like, say, going to play with Wemby. The Lillard pairing, where he wasn't the only top guy. Maybe that's seen as a cautionary tale for him personally. Maybe he felt his singular dominance was diluted. He wants to be the guy. The clear centerpiece. It adds a fascinating layer to his thinking.
That definitely puts a different spin on it. Not just winning, but his role in the winning. Okay, beyond Giannis himself, are there any other players, maybe hidden gems, X factors who could surprise for the Bucks?
Absolutely. Kevin Porter Jr., he's the definition of a wild card, a potential X factor. He has the raw talent, seriously, to average maybe 22-plus points a game. His ability to create his own shot is exceptional. If he hits that potential, he could suddenly be that crucial third piece they really need. Then there's Kyle Kuzma. Athleticism, talent, it's all there. But, as one insider put it, nobody trusts him to be a consistent number 2 option. He seems to need significant motivation, consistent development to really be reliable. And looking way down the line, that 2031 first-round pick the Bucks still have, that's seen as highly valuable. Why? Because of the long-term uncertainty around Giannis and the team's potential performance that far out. It's like a lifeline if things go south.
Okay, so from the big picture, stars, potential turmoil. Let's shift focus a bit. How are other teams navigating roster building, free agency? Let's start with the Atlanta Hawks. We talked about their potential turnaround. Is their roster actually set for next season, or are there still moves to be made?
Well, the Hawks have made some really smart, flexible moves lately. Suggest they like having options. Their recent signings in Folly Dante, a young center, and Caleb Houston, a wing, are pretty telling. Both signed non-guaranteed Exhibit 10 deals, only about $85,000 functionally guaranteed. This gives them amazing flexibility heading into training camp. Really good optionality.
Yeah.
Just a smart way to manage their cap and roster spots.
Yeah.
Evaluate talent without locking into long-term money if it doesn't work out.
Right. And what do those guys specifically bring? Why them for these flexible deals?
Dante was a G League standout last year. Great rebounder, finishes at the rim, fills that need for a third, maybe fourth center. Houston, he's a big-time shooter. Hit 38.5% on good volume. Adds depth, and that skill, shooting, which Atlanta clearly prioritizes. They have 13 guaranteed deals now, need at least 14 players, so they can keep these young guys if they impress. Or they can cut them with minimal financial hit and chase other minimum guys. It even gives them the flexibility to think about a vet like Al Horford if he somehow became available for that last center spot without worrying about the luxury tax. It's just smart, low-risk roster building.
That really is a masterclass in modern roster management. Okay, now let's switch gears to the Philadelphia 76ers. Reports say they're showing interest in Malik Beasley, especially now that he's cleared from that federal gambling investigation.
Yeah, and if you connect this to the Sixers' bigger picture, their negotiations. Beasley interest makes a lot of sense. He's a proven big-time shooter, former six-man runner-up. One insider suggests his availability could be leverage, right, to bring down the price. And their talks with Quentin Grimes. Grimes is reportedly looking for, what, $25 million a year? A big number. So the Sixers can basically say, look, we have other options, potentially cheaper ones, if your price is too high. It's classic negotiation. Create a credible alternative.
That's pretty shrewd. But it's not a done deal for Beasley and the Sixers, is it? There are still hurdles.
You're right, yeah. Hurdles exist. They'd need to open a roster spot first. Maybe waive Adam Bono. His deal becomes guaranteed. In October, they're also facing competition. The Knicks, the Cavaliers, they're apparently interested too. That could drive up his asking price. Plus, Beasley does have some baggage, past off-court stuff that might actually make him more willing to take a one-year minimum type deal. Rebuild his value, prove himself again. That could be a low-cost, high-reward play for Philly. Oh, and briefly, yeah, the Sixers apparently asked about Anthony Simons from Boston. But that seems like a non-starter. Boston would likely demand Tyrese Maxey back, and Simons could just leave after 1 year anyway. Way too risky for Philly.
Gotcha. And speaking of teams maybe looking to shake things up, one insider did flag the Memphis Grizzlies, mentioned them as a team most likely to make a big move before the trade deadline. Given their current roster, some injuries, maybe some uncertainty they've had, it suggests their thinking on contending versus developing might shift as the season goes on. So keep an eye on Memphis. Wow, what a dope dive today. We really covered a lot of ground. From the high hopes in Atlanta and Philly, the strategic moves, to the turmoil maybe brewing in Milwaukee around Giannis, the pressure he's under, and all those intricate roster decisions and free agency. It really highlights how fluid the NBA is, doesn't it? These complex choices front offices have to make, balancing stars, chemistry, and that all-important financial flexibility.
Indeed. And it leaves us with a bit of a provocative thought, maybe. This constant chase for stars, building super teams. Maybe that's actually shifting a bit. With the league seemingly having more parity now and teams really prioritizing optionality, careful roster building, player development, perhaps the league is moving away from that all-or-nothing super team approach. So what does that mean for the next generation of NBA champions? Will it be these meticulously built, flexible rosters? Or will the allure of just grabbing a few dominant stars eventually swing the pendulum back? That's something fascinating for you to consider as the 2025-26 season gets closer.
Thanks for diving deep with us. Like and subscribe for more.